All right, guys, so we solved, we graphed. Today's video reviews writing equations. Okay, so how to write equations. Given a graph, depends what form. Let's write our two forms here. So slope-intercept could be y equals mx plus b, and then point slope would be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Oh, sorry, you can't really see that. How do you know which one to use? It's really your choice depending on the problem or the multiple choice answers. So this one, since we have the m and the b, I think I'm going to use slope-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. The slope m is what? Up 2, 3, 4 over 2. And the b is the y-intercept. That's up at 1. Now, I would never leave it like that. I would actually reduce 4 over 2. So this would be y equals 2x plus 1. Now, this one, regardless of what form you use, we have to find slope first. And remember, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so it's negative 4 minus 2 on top. And on bottom, it's 3 minus 1. And don't forget, if it's minus a minus, it becomes a plus. Didn't happen in this one. All right, if you work that out, it's negative 6 over 2, which reduces to negative 3. So that's our slope. And then since we don't have the y-intercept, I think I would use point slope on this one. Now, you guys get to pick a point. I'm going to use this point and this slope to write my equation. So it's y minus 2 equals m times x minus 1. And I would leave it like this, but if the multiple choice answers are in slope-intercept, then you would need to distribute and add the 2 over. So if you guys want to try that, in slope-intercept, it would be y equals negative 3x plus 3 if you distribute, but then you would have to add the 2 over. It would be y equals negative 3x plus 5. So I'm not sure which way it would be, but these are both correct. All right, if they give you a point and a slope, let's write it in point slope form. We just did this. Y minus y, but minus a minus becomes a plus 4, equals m, which is negative 1/2, times x minus x, which is 3. Done. Now, if they give you a slope and a y-intercept, you're obviously going to use slope-intercept form, which is y equals 3x plus 5. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, parallel and perpendicular. So parallel, we use the same slope and we use this point. So you're going to leave this in point slope form. Y minus 3 equals m times x minus a minus becomes a plus. Okay, so we use the same slope and then we use the x and the y. Perpendicular, we use the opposite reciprocal. So not 2 over 1, but negative 1 over 2. You flip it and you make it opposite. And then we want it to pass through this point. So y minus 2 equals our new slope, negative 1/2, times x minus a minus 1 becomes a plus 1. And you can leave it like that. And then we also learned how to write an equation for a line of best fit given data. So you will need your graphing calculator. And remember, when they're in years, call the first year 0. And then this will be 2 years later. This will be 3 years later. And this will be 4 years later. All right, so let's go over the buttons to press for this. So you start with Stat, Edit. To clear the list, you go up to the list, hit Clear, Enter, Clear, Enter, and then just type them in. So 0, 2, 3, 4, and then 7.8, 2, I think that's a 22, a 43, and a 67. And then you hit Stat, right arrow to calculate, down to number 4, and then go all the way down to calculate. And there's your y equals mx plus b. So this one would be y equals 14.45x plus 2.43. And based on the multiple choice answers, you will know how to round. All right, guys, that was all of our writing equations.